It's been a long time. Just Yes, sir. Back in the building. Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026. Media Markets live stream. Media Markets show will follow the podcast. I'll put that out directly right after this. It is 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 45 minutes from midnight. So you're with the boy, Media Markets. Once again, live stream. Give you guys the latest in news, sports, and entertainment. And yeah, it's all going to go down. Actually, sometimes I forget my water, man. But usually when I do, I push through. But yeah, we're here. We're live and direct. It is Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026. A lot of things gone down today, specifically in the NBA. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the scores around the NBA that happened tonight, as well as some things. There's an injury for one of the star players that I saw today. Big trade for a very local team. So I'll talk about that as well. And that's from the sports angle, but we'll also talk. I got a lot of news for you guys. Some things that I saw today. One of the things is like Florida, their license, they're changing all of the. So I got that. I got that to talk about the Florida license application process. Trump versus Phil Knight and Nike. We got Washington Post, Jeff Bezos laying off a lot of people. So we'll talk all that. Walmart reaching its height. And Target falling down on the talk. So we'll talk about all of that. Sha'Carri Richardson and her boyfriend, they appeared in court today. I'll talk about them. Brent Fires, J. Cole, NBA, big NBA trade around the league today. I'll talk about Anthony Davis going to the. So I'll get into that. But let's start it off right now with the NBA. Yes, Anthony Davis was traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the beloved, suddenly my beloved Washington Wizards. And pretty crazy to see, like actually in the building, like it happening. Very, very fun and interesting to see. I was actually going to get lunch, and this happened. I was walking back with my Nando's, and I'm like, oh, we just got Anthony Davis is about to be in the building. So that was very fun to witness. But yes, Anthony Davis was traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Washington Wizards. It was very fun to like experience that, and the Trae Young trade over the last few weeks to be in the building for that. But the biggest thing that this comes away from is like, yeah, this guy was the biggest piece of the Luka Doncic trade last year. Just like what was it? Literally 369 days ago, when Luka Doncic was traded for Anthony Davis and picks to the Los Angeles Lakers. And yes, Anthony Davis is suddenly traded now. I mean, he's only played 20 games this year, but he's traded to the Washington Wizards. He'll pair up with Trae Young. I also saw D'Angelo Russell was in the deal. So yeah, the Wizards just making things happen. They got off that Bradley Beal contract. And yeah, they got some all-star caliber people now. This Anthony Davis has been like a 10 or 11 time All-Star. So that's good to have. We know what Trae Young has done. He's been to a conference finals. Anthony Davis has won a championship. So what the Wizards are doing right now, it's very good to see, just being a local person in the area. But outside of that, like actually being in the building for this, it's like, yo, this is pretty cool. And you see people coming out of the offices with different smiles. You might tell people that don't even know, like, yeah, you're like, yo, you heard, you seen? So it's very fun, It's always got the latest. We're here. The latest in news, sports, and entertainment. You got Media Markets. Live streaming is February the 4th, 2026, 11:18 p.m. We are 32 minutes, 42 minutes away from midnight. But yeah, so that's happening around the NBA. I also saw a trade where I think I talked yesterday about the guy Vucci Man. Vucci Man got went Vucci Man. If that I don't know, that's Nikola Vucevic. He went to the Celtics, so I thought that was a good deal for them. I did see Jerry McCain from the Philadelphia 76ers. He was traded. What was he traded to? He was traded to OKC, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they'll give him a claim from the 76ers. He's on his way to OKC, the defending champions. And SGA came out soon after. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is dealing with an injury. He will be evaluated after the All-Star break. So I don't know if he's going to play in the All-Star weekend. So that's the latest on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And Oklahoma City Thunder trading for Jared McCain, who's in his second year. I believe he was a rookie last season with the team. So all those things happen around the NBA. My beloved Magic, we traded Tyus Jones for cash considerations. So that's always fun. I gave you guys the James Harden news last night. So that is the latest in the NBA. That's what's happening around the NBA. Very exciting. Good trade deadline. It's a very good trade deadline. It's not. I think we got one more day. One more day with a trade deadline. But let's get into some scores around the NBA as we're here. Media Markets live stream, February the 4th, 2026. Boston defeated the Houston Rockets 114-93. That's Ime Udoka's old team. Boston, they get it done. Let's see. Jaylen Brown did not play tonight, looks like. Derek White was the leading scorer, 28 points. Luka Garza, DC native, 19.6 rebounds for Luka Garza in the win tonight. Kevin Durant, just 15 points, 4 of 11 from the field. Did not make a three-pointer, 0 of 4. Jabari Smith Jr., 13 points. Same for Sengun. This looked like a tough night shooting for the Rockets team. They didn't play well. Right now, New York defeated Denver at double overtime. The Knicks get it done, 134-127. The Knicks have won 7 games in a row right now. The Knicks, yes, I believe this is very true. The Knicks, is it 7 or 8? It's at least 7. 8. The Knicks have won 8 straight games in a row now. And, yeah, they played well. They defeat the Denver Nuggets in double overtime. Jalen Brunson, 42 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. 2 steals as well. 14 of 27 from the field. 5 made 3-point shots. That is a guy. At one point, the Dallas Mavericks had Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic. And right now, they have, like, Marvin Bagley. I mean, they got Cooper Flag, but it's very, very interesting, man. Karl-Anthony Towns with a double-double, 24 points and 12 rebounds. That's on a back-to-back that they played 2 overtimes. Played the Wizards last night. So Knicks get it done. Double overtime. Let's see. Jamal Murray, 39 points in the loss. Joker with the 30-point triple-double, 14 rebounds, 10 assists, but in a losing effort. What else happened around the NBA? Minnesota gets it done, 128-126 versus Toronto Raptors. 30 points for Anthony Edwards, 10 points, 12 rebounds for Rudy Gobert. 20 points for Bones Highland off the bench, so they get that done. Brandon Ingram had 25 in the loss. So that's what happened around the NBA so far. Right now, Cleveland is up on the Clippers. Whatever. We know they just made that trade, so I don't know. Everybody's not playing there though, so I don't even want to get too far into that. But let's get into some news. Let's get into some things outside of sports. Tomorrow I'll really deep dive the NFL. I'm looking at this game, Super Bowl weekend. The Super Bowl really just doesn't feel the same to me, man. Without my guys, I gotta get my guys back, man. I'm retooling. Things have changed. Let me see if I can get Rome for the Super Bowl episode tomorrow, man. Rome, where are you, Rome? Where's Rome? But yeah, so that's how I feel about the Super Bowl right now. I mean, it's only one game. It's the big game, though. It's a big game. So I'll turn things around. I'll talk about that tomorrow. But I got to talk some news outside of sports. And the first thing that came to my mind today was Florida. Florida. So, complex reporting. Let me make really Fox 35 Orlando. Fox 35 Orlando reporting via Complex. Florida driver license exams will only be offered in English starting this Friday, February the 6th, 2026. Once again, this is Complex reporting via Fox 35 Orlando. Florida will begin offering driver's license exams only in English starting February the 6th. The change applies to all written-in driving tests statewide, ending the use of other languages and translation services that were previously available. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles said the change is to promote clear communication, better understanding of traffic laws, and responsible driving behavior in order to keep roads safe. What? Is this not like, bro, what's going on outside, man? Like, this is so crazy. When I think about Florida, obviously think about warm weather. I think a lot of things in Florida, actually. And I had some really good times in Florida, in Miami, but whatever. You think about just the Latin people there, right? The different heritages, the Haitians, your Black Americans, Dade County, poking beans, all of that. But you think about the Latin Americans as well in Florida. And you're telling me, like, this country who has pretty much embraced different languages. I mean, ever since I've been around, I'm 33 years old. I mean, I've always seen, like, on one side there's usually English, the opposite side you putting out, like, some information. The opposite side is Spanish. Florida says no more. They're done with it. Florida driver's license will go to only English starting February the 6th. I'm thinking of, like, those teenagers. Maybe you just talk Spanish. Like, I mean, thinking of older people that are just, like, trying to get their license, stuff like that. And then you got to learn a whole different language. Crazy. So you'll probably see people going to different states outside of Florida to get their driver's license, and it's so much. It's so much. But yes, that's the latest on Florida and their driver's license. Only the tests are going to only English starting this Friday, February the 6th. Insane times. All right, what else did I have on the docket for the day? I got some Trump and Nike news. Trump be going at whoever, and this time it looks like it's Phil Knight. So where was this report, man? This was insane that I saw this. I got it. So on a different platform. Sometimes I repost, not sometimes. I repost stuff for information, obviously, but also so I can come back to it later. So the New York Times, New York Times reporting, Nike, this is the Trump administration has opened an investigation into whether Nike discriminated against white employees. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission chair has worked to dismantle DEI policy since taking the role last year. So once again, this is New York Times reporting, Nike accused of bias against white workers is under federal investigations. Yo. I mean, this is like what? Like, well, come on, bro. Come on. What are we even talking about? So they're saying, yeah, discrimination now comes. Let me try to get a little more details on this. New York Post, like, they wanted me to, like, sign up and they, like, pay for that. There's no way I'm about to pay for that right now. Let's get a yeah, let's get a actual, yeah. Anyway, okay, I think I got an NBC News report. I got an Apple News report. There we go. I gotta get official reports, people. They have to be official. I cannot just tell you guys some random Joe Schmo said this on the internet, and now oh no, why did I allow that to send me notifications? I don't like notifications. I got too many. All right, Trump administration alleges Nike discriminated against white workers. So the U.S. Equal Employee Opportunity Commission said Wednesday that it's investigating Nike for allegedly discriminating against white workers. The agency that policies polices, not policies. The agency that polices discrimination in the workplace filed an action in the federal court in Missouri to compel the publicly traded athletic shoe and apparel giant to produce information in response to a subpoena the agency served on the company last fall, according to courts reviewed by NBC News. So the EEOC, that's what it's called. Hold up. Breaking news right now. Breaking news in the NBA. The Golden State Warriors are trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. That is breaking news here on the Media Markets live stream. If you're tuning in right now, you're an NBA person. Breaking news right now. Golden State Warriors are trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for NBA champion Kristaps Porzingis. So that is breaking news. We know that Jonathan Kuminga had wanted out of the Golden State Warriors for some time now. Right now, Jimmy Butler's out for the rest of the year. What are the Warriors going to do? This seems like what they're going to do. Let me see if they get a little more in the package. Right now, though, it just said for Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kuminga for Kristaps Porzingis. So that is the latest. It just went down. Just went down. You got the breaking news here. Media Markets live stream. That's what I'm here for. And so I was just complaining about notifications. We just got one there. It's breaking news. As Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield headed to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. Yeah. So, but back to the Nike thing. It's just ridiculous, right? It's like, come on now. I don't know if this is a show between Trump and Phil Knight, but I'll put that clip out and let people give me their thoughts, because I don't. I don't really have too many. It's just like, what are y'all talking about? What are you guys talking about? Now, if you look at the majority of the people that work in Nike, right, the absolute, I'm sure the majority is not black. It's not a person of color. I'm pretty sure about it. I know a lady who worked in Oregon, headquarters of Nike. I worked with her outside of Nike. And yeah, white woman, lady, shout out to Julie, God bless. But yeah, I just don't see that. I don't see that. So we'll see what comes after that. Might be just be some guys with some big pockets, and Trump and Phil Knight going at it. But that's the latest on Trump and the administration alleges Nike discriminated against white workers. I just gave you guys the breaking news. Jonathan Kaminga and Buddy Hield from the Golden State Warriors. They're headed to the Atlanta Hawks. It is the NBA trade deadline. It's tomorrow. It ends February the 5th. So we got a lot of deals. And yeah, that's the latest one. That ain't no trade happened since. You gotta hit live with me. And let's keep it moving. Washington Post. We saw the Washington Post had a ton of layoffs today. They got rid of their sports section. The beloved Washington Post. I grew up in Washington, D.C., DMV area, PG County, Prince George's County, Maryland. Very proud Prince George's County. Okay? Yeah, I grew up like wanting the Washington Post. I grew up wanting to work in media, in sports media specifically. Washington Post, Tony Kornheiser, Michael Wilbon, David Aldridge, all the legends. And it's no more. They don't even have a sports section anymore. Obviously, news has changed. But you know what? It's bigger things outside of just the sports section. But yes, Amazon's Black Millionaires reporting the Washington Post laid off 33% of its workforce following an order from its owner, Jeff Bezos. So, once again, Black Millionaires reporting the Washington Post eliminated roughly 1 out of every 3 positions across the organization on Wednesday morning, delivering a major setback to a newsroom. Many staffers say it was already under extreme strain. Owner Jeff Bezos did not immediately respond to a question about the layoffs. Bezos has been urging Post leadership to make the outlet profitable again, but the strategy has drawn sharp criticism from journalists inside and outside the paper, some of whom have questioned his intentions. Former Post fact checker Glenn Kessler recently wrote that Bezos is less focused on preserving the newspaper and more concerned with protecting himself politically as Donald Trump remains a powerful force. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's what Kessler says. I mean, obviously that's his opinion. He stated that. I don't know. I do know though that in 2010, when I was like coming out of high school, people were telling me the newspapers were dying. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, I'm sure the Washington Post just doesn't put out physical newspapers. I'm sure they do a lot of things with online sites, advertisements, things of that nature. But yeah, it's really tough to just write for a newspaper now. I mean, you gotta do different things. We saw, growing up, I talked about 2 people on the Washington Post, Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser, and the reason that I knew them was because they were on TV. And then I realized, like, oh, these guys work right for the Washington Post as well. I'm going to read their articles and kind of give more of a background on these 2. And, that's just one thing that they did. And you got to do things outside of, this economy, man. You got to do several things, man. I got hella jobs. I got hella jobs right now, man. I'm trying to get another. Let me know. I'm available. I'll be there early. So, no, I get it though. But Washington Post eliminates 33% of jobs. Jeff Bezos, the owner, obviously is going to take the majority of heat for that. And yes, that's the latest with the Washington Post and its laying layoffs. Also got some Walmart news. I saw this, like, damn. So we know that Target has been struggling lately. Mostly because of the DEI stuff. People were boycotting. People of color were boycotting Target. That's plain and simple. We've seen them decline as far as their profits and stuff like that. And Walmart has done the opposite. Target's going this way, Walmart's going that way. Boardroom reporting: Walmart is the first realtor to be valued at $1 trillion. $1 trillion. Once again, boardroom reporting: Walmart is the first retailer to be valued. Walmart is the first retailer to be valued at $1 trillion. Boardroom reporting: the company has become the first traditional retailer to reach a 13-figure valuation, joining an elite group typically reserved for tech giants like Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft. In 2016, Walmart's market value sat near at $212 billion, a period marked by lingering doubts in Berkshire Hathaway's decision to exit its stakes. Since then, e-commerce growth, automation, and AI-driven efficiency, paired with a sharper focus on value pricing, have reshaped the business as shoppers continue to prioritize low prices, fast delivery, and convenience. So Walmart, they're at the top, man. First retailer to be valued at $1 trillion. So congratulations to all those at the top of Walmart. I mean, listen, I gotta be honest. I'm not going into Walmart. Me personally, I'm not going into Walmart. Walmart is like OC. I can't fade. Man, certainly not why I'm not going to any Walmart. I guess if I'm out of town, like that's where you gotta go, like to get. But if I gotta make a decision, I'm not going to Walmart. But a lot of people are. I'm just one person. So Walmart, first retailer to be valued at $1 trillion, boardroom reporting. Congratulations to them. Let's get into some well, before we get into entertainment news, let me follow up on something I did. I talked about last week. Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested for allegedly driving over 100 miles per hour. And her boyfriend, Christian Coleman, was also arrested for apparently having like drug paraphernalia. So TMZ Sports has learned Sha'Carri Richardson and Christian Coleman have both pleaded not guilty following their arrest last week. Richardson was arrested for allegedly speeding over 100 miles per hour, while the boyfriend, Christian Coleman, there was some drug paraphernalia, something like that. He was arrested for that, allegedly. And yeah, that's the latest. So they both pled not guilty today, and we'll see what happens. I'm wishing them the best, though. I don't want to see young people keep getting in trouble. Young black people. It's like, yo, sit down, take a night, relax. Like y'all gotta take it easy. Just please take it easy, man. Like don't get caught up in the system and keep going to jail. Like that's not a good. It's not a good little wave, man. That's not a good little wave. All right. So obviously young people make mistakes. Shit, I made a mistake this morning. You know, it is what it is. But you gotta kind of keep the volume down on those type of things. All right, so let's talk some Brent Fires, and I'll talk J. Cole last. J. Cole and Cameron, because that was very good. Not J. Cole. Brent Fires, Billboard Hip Hop reporting. Have To by Brent Fires. Have To gives Brent Fires his first lead number one on adult R&B airplay chart. So Billboard Hip Hop reporting. Brent Fires. I hope I'm saying his last name right because I don't know. I just know Brent. All right. Brent Fires hit a new milestone. Have To earns his first number one as a lead artist and Billboard's adult R&B airplay chart. Jumping from number 4 to the top spot dated February 7th, the single previews his upcoming album Icon, arriving February 13th, marks his second adult R&B airplay number one of his overall career. So I don't really know how to separate the two with that just said. I'm sure as I kind of read it back later, it might be a little different. But yeah, so that is the latest with Brent Fires. So he got his first lead number one on adult R&B airplay chart. So I think maybe he's been a feature somewhere else before, but this was the lead. This is his song. So Have To gives Brent Fires his first number one. That is Billboard Hip Hop reporting. It's 11:38 p.m. February the 4th, 2026. I'm your guy, Media Markus. I got one more thing to talk about before we get out of here. And let me actually see if I could pull up this clip so I can share with you guys. So we obviously know I'm talking the latest in news, sports, and entertainment. Media Markets live stream, and yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I did mention to you guys that Cameron was suing. Cameron was suing J. Cole, and you're like, what? Cameron the rapper was suing J. Cole. And yeah, it was just mad random. It was like, yo, I think it was like breach of contract kind of thing. Cameron said, hey, I did a favor for J. Cole. I did a couple favors for J. Cole, and J. Cole couldn't do a favor for me. So, and he acts like he just can't do it. And I'm not about to keep chasing this man down. So, basically, he just filed a lawsuit, and Cameron recently touched on that. This was the talk with Flea. He talked on that, as I saw. And I'll share with you guys before we get out of here. But yes, this is, and I'm just going to do this for the little clip. It's going to take a little longer. Cameron talking on suing J. Cole and why he did it. So I'm pulling up the clip down, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm hoping my Wi-Fi is booming. The booming Wi-Fi, that would be nice. All right. Let's share with Cameron. Speaks on suing J. Cole. All right, but I got it up here. Let me share my screen. Share. So this is Cameron. Killer Cam of the Dipset. All of that. Rockefeller. Cameron speaking on his relationship with J. Cole and the lawsuit.
This is exactly what happens. Being a man is keeping your word. And I know everybody's busy and everybody has things to do. But if I give you my word 4 or 5 times, I got to do it. So on his first project he did, I did an intro for him. I did the record for him for his intro. I told him I may need a verse whenever I get a project done. He said, cool. He had another project. I did a record in 20 minutes. I knocked that shit out and went off about my business. I need a verse. I'm exaggerating, but he's like the shock rain right now. And, the moon got aligned with the stars. And, when I write, I put my all into it. Okay, let's put your all into it then. You know what I'm saying? Give me that verse. You called me twice to do something, and I did it. One day you have 48 hours to do it. Then I knocked the other thing out as soon as I came to New York, because you ain't want to send me a record. You want to be in the studio with me. I knocked it out. Cool, you don't give me the record. Then I say, you know what? Forget the record. Let's do an interview. Bet I got you. I got a project coming out in June. Let's do it around there. Cool, June is coming. Oh, we pushed the album back. I don't want to just do an interview. All right, cool. Now we're going to do it in October. All right, I'll call you back in October. Yo, what's up? Oh, man, killer. You say I tell you October. You call October, huh, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah. So now this is when all the beef is going on with Kendrick Lamar. I can't do it now because I don't feel like talking about that right now. I said, look, I'll do the interview. I won't even bring that up. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. All right, well, when can I get the interview? Yo, February, definite. February, I'm dead ass on February. February come. Yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Yo, I'm still working, man.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Yeah, so that's Cameron. He said, hey, you got me tracking you down, and you month after month. You don't hit me back. We're supposed to be professionals. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that lawsuit. I don't think it's been dropped yet, so or settled. So we'll see what happens with that. And yes, that's the latest. That's the latest in news, sports, and entertainment. I'm your guy, Media Markets, man. I appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in. We broke some news here tonight. I broke some news with you all. Could have got it here before you could have got it anywhere else. All right. Media Markets live stream. We broke the news. Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield traded to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. We broke that here live on the stream. I really love that. I'm your guy, Media Markets. I appreciate you all for listening and tuning in. I was about to stay alive. But be blessed, be well. Appreciate you all. I'm going to put out the podcast right after this processes. And yeah, see you guys soon. Cheers.